to where I say. So let's just plow further. So after the whole explanation that the Ovis, what was their accomplishment? Both through Torah. What they did was that they drew, as it were, Torah, and the Eibishter invested in Torah, the Anoichi, that by definition is beyond revelation. Atzmos, beyond revelation. Again, all revelation means otherness. And so the Eibishter is beyond the whole notion of otherness. And they drew the Torah from there into the realm of revelation. That this critical, fundamental decision of Atzmos, of the Eibishter, that there should be a knower and he should be known. That's what the Ovis accomplished. Now it's up to us to make it happen. In simpler words, they made Atzmos, the Eibishter, accessible via Torah. And now we have to access him and reveal him in the world. But it's possible. That's a huge achievement. And all of that's reflected without repeating the previous shiurim. Then the whole process of creation with the Ein Sof fills the Makom Cholol. Why is that necessary? Just project into it the Ha'ora, the Tzimtzum, the Kav, the graded revelation of godliness. Why must in the Makom Cholol, the vacuum, why at the outset must there be the infinite essential presence? Because that's the point. Hashem wants us to know him as beyond creator and beyond all definition, and who knows him? Creation knows him. So that he should be known, that God can be knowable. That God can be knowable, that's what the Ovis achieved. And then it's up to us to get to know him. That's to distill that in a simple sentence. They made the Eibishter knowable. And he says in just a few words, a few salient words, because of the Bittul, the Merkava, the Mesiris Nefesh. That's what they achieved. However, the actual revelation of Atzmos in the world, that's up to us. The end of the day, it's only a ha'ora, meaning to say, on the one hand, it's the aroma of your oil. That's the pasuk. This is all based on Shir Hashirim. Shmanecha daik. It's taka the oil. It's taka atzmos. Avlo reach vara bilvad. It's only the aroma and the reflection, which means godliness revealed yet tangibly in the world. No. Can he be? Yes. So therefore, their avodah is described as merely the aroma and the ha'ara. Sets the stage, but it hasn't happened. But to draw the etzem into an absolute state of revelation into the world, not yet. He can be known, but he has to be known. Then they didn't yet reveal godliness in such a way that godliness is invested and united and expressed within creation. That the world itself become the dira, not yet. Can it become the dira? Yes. Again, it's analogous to, similar to, I believe, it doesn't say that explicitly, but I believe it's this is the Inyan that we said yesterday, that Hashem's voice did not have an echo. The voice of Matan Torah. It means that it saturated creation, but still didn't transform it. This is exactly what the Avos did. And thereafter we have to go mitzvah by mitzvah and transform the world. But God's present and available and can be known. This can happen. That's what the Avos accomplished. What they didn't do is a lichtige Welt. B'lashon olam, in the words of the world, that the B'lashon olam means in the vernacular, the common vernacular. They did not achieve a lichtige Welt. God's presence in essence, yes, but luminous, pulsating through creation, revealed, reflected by creation, no, that they didn't achieve. But to reveal the essence, but your name pours out like oil, the actual body of the oil, as the Medrash is called, like someone who pours from one vessel to another vessel. The shemen itself is moving. The shemen itself, the oil, is moving from one vessel to the other. So the oil, the Atmos, is moving kevayochel from a state of concealment, presentness, true, but concealed, but moving to a state of revelation, that nifala by Matan Torah. That's affected by Matan Torah. V'hainu shlachne Matan Torah. So what happened as a result of Matan Torah? That's the whole shtudim. Poyol kol echad mi Yisrael al yedei vidosei amshachas Atmos. Every Yid now affects the drawing and the revelation of Atmos. No matter what mitzvah or Torah he learns, he may do the simplest mitzvah, minig Yisrael, not even machuyev. He may learn a simple story in Torah, but it's all the etzem. And when it comes to the etzem, when it comes to connecting to essence, even if one does so in the lowest level, the simplest level, as each one on their level of learning, so the essential connection, even the simplest, is far greater than the loftiest revelation. A simple illustration for that is the Inyan of the king in the garments. The king is in the garment. Doesn't matter what garment he's wearing. He's wearing multi-layers. So no matter, and you embrace the king. When you do a mitzvah and you learn Torah, you're embracing the king. So what are you tangibly embracing and consciously? A simple act, a simple halacha, a story you learned. Because means each one according to the level. A person is not capable of learning deeper, he's not capable. But nonetheless, in that which he learns, that garment, the king is in the garment. And he's embracing the king. And that's greater than the loftiest garments on their own. The king is not wearing them and hanging in the closet with those costly garments and pearls, and so incomparable to the simplest garment that you're touching, but the king's wearing it. So in essence, you're embracing the king. You're embracing the king. You're not touching the king, you're touching him through the garment. That doesn't change anything at all. You'll be embracing the king. The king's embracing you. Whereas the most costly, princely robe on display in the museum is immeasurably less than a simple garment that the king is wearing while he's wearing it, and you're embracing the king. That is Giloy Atzmos that we do. No matter what level, the etzem is there. And furthermore, since now, post Matan Torah, the etzem, again, the king is invested in all of these garments. In Beprinas Atzmi, when it comes to essence, no matter what levels he's expressed, the essence beyond limit is ever present. Again, this is we spoke about the other day, that etzem bilti mischalik, at the end of the day, essence is not given to division. So no matter what part you grasp of it, you've grasped all of it. All of it. I don't want to go into that whole sugi again, but just a simple illustration. An apple that's cut into many pieces. I keep on using the example because that's the first example I heard as a kid. When the kid was already 17. We learned this with Yossi Chitrik, in Yeshiva Gedoyla, in Yonush Teres Achsidus. Didn't understand too much, but we got some words. He chose to teach it to us, so we listened. Akol ponim. So you cut the apple, it doesn't matter which part of it you're touching, the stem or the inside or the skin. It's apple. Essence, apple is no less than whatever manifestation or part you choose to take. Big or small makes no difference. In terms of the fund, what is that you're holding? Apple, piece of apple. So that's the point, that now the Torah is given, and Atzmos is invested in Torah, so it doesn't make a difference mitzad the Atzmistic connection, what level of sophistication of your learning, and the mitzvah you're doing, the Reise, the Rabbanon, a minhag. In all of it, Atzmos is present and is revealed through your act. The Matan, the Hazeh, transforms the world. Clear? Further explanation, Meidic explanation coming now, friends. And it's so beautiful because Chassidus brings godliness, reveals godliness. V'yuven zeh, I'll understand it further, the difference between the avodah of the ovis and our avodah. There's a need to probe this further, because if we were just to say that the ovis was pure giluyim, finish their giluyim ber etzem, that's a simple equation. We can understand why our avodah is far superior. But that begs the question, then who needs their avodah altogether before? So we said, no, it's not so. The ovis draw on the etzem. So if they do, then what's the chiddush in Matan Torah? It becomes much more subtle in this maamer. It's not that they're just giluyim, oir, and we are the etzem. No, they are reach, and the reach draws on the etzem. So there is a connection to atzmos already. But still not the same as post Matan Torah. We've explained it to some degree, but we need more. For Yuvens, will be understood. May I have fresh by understanding the difference between zivug neshikin and zivug gufni. The difference between zivug, union, becoming one through kissing, through the act of kissing, the zivug gufni, talking about husband and wife, zon malchus, eibishte and yidden, the zivug gufni to the physical union, to physical intimacy. The difference is, the so the love and the union, the oneness that's expressed through kissing, through nishikin, afsho zivug ruchni. So even though that's it's physical, obviously, but it's spiritual relative to the zivug gufni. And it's a very lofty connection, and he's talking about the Eibishter kissing us, and us him. He's talking about Ruchni Sinyon, but obviously it translates and manifests itself physically in husband and wife. And knowing that must elevate the whole relationship to where it should be, and that is the most sublime meeting of souls that embraces the body. What's going to come out here is that actually it's the other way around. Namely, the deepest bodily connection, that's the deepest spiritual connection. Let's see in the mind. So the connection of the oneness that's expressed in a kiss draws on this transcendent level of likus. You're not giving a speech how much I love you. You're not saying words. Words is seich. And in words there are levels also. There's poetry, all kinds of levels of words. But then there's a point where there's beyond words, And how do you express your love? In a kiss. So that's transcendent. That's Seviv Kalalmin. What you tell me, what's the parallel of Seviv Kalalmin in the Nefesh Adam generally? What is it? Generally. Will, desire. So desire and will, I want you and desire you with the depth of my being, that's expressed in a kiss, not in words. But still, it's Ha'ara Bilvad. It's still only what? A Ha'ara, meaning to say, it doesn't express the essence of the I want you, I desire you. But there's still I, still separate from you. Mashen kein zivu gufni, whereas the zivu gufni, if the physical union becoming one, avshu begashmi, this is physical. It's physical. A kiss is much more spiritual. You can even blow a kiss. And even touch the person. So it's more spiritual. Physical union is begashmiyis, v'lachein am shochem lebesh is begashmiyis. And therefore their union is drawn and manifest on a physical plane. Nonetheless, in contrast to the kiss, which is more ruchnius, the irony is, here you're giving the essential self. He is not more, I want you, I desire you. Here is, I'm giving you myself. This is the ultimate oneness. Further explanation. What's he saying this for? He's saying that Dafka, the Torah given lemata in mitzvahs gashmiyis, that is the yichud, the zivu gufni. And herein lies the etzem. Further elaboration. So in other words, the others, their relationship with God, they kissed God. Meidedik. Our union, one with Him. Yichud Gufni. Where 1 + 1 equals 1. And that only happens when the Yichud is Begashmis. That's why that happens. That's why that happens. Why did Eibishter make it? Husband and wife and the whole relationship is all a reflection of Eden and the Eibishter. So their deepest union is manifest in the most physical possible. They're soulmates. They're soulmates. So you would think that's the last thing that would reveal their soul connection. Soulmates. I don't know, sing a song together, learn, do something spiritual. Sit together and meditate and meet in the higher heavens. No! Their deepest union, the soul union. The atzmizdika, that they're not even two halves of one soul, but they are one soul. That is manifest where Dafke Yichud Kashmi. Yeah, I'm sure you all heard Manasvim talk about this subject, the great master to which we all owe a great debt. I'll say this without fear of what I'm looking for, without Hakolponim. So Mana speaks a lot about intimacy. I'm just saying that every English-speaking, articulated teacher of Chassidus, the big ones today, everybody, it's really, we all owe a great debt to Manas. So he says, famous his books, you should read it. Is the books on intimacy, what's it called? Forgot already. Akaponim, so he says.
Anyone blush?
Yeah, that was the first book, and there's a new one now. I think it's called the joy of intimacy. I think that's what it's called. Huh? No, that sounds like Shmuley B'Teich. Who also, by the way, Shmuley, based all of his, all on manas. He did a little bit of, Torah took a little turn. Shmuley is a good friend. Akol Ponim. So it's worth mentioning now. It's worth mentioning. We're all married. He says, Manas, he says, we're on tape now, people listen to this, so if you use language that is okay, so the sexual act is ruining marriages all across America, all over the world. Destroying marriages. You hear such words? Gets your attention. It's destroying marriages. And then the Kudus Inyan is that he says like this. So he says, no, when you start, this is how he says it. You used to ask your grandmother, what happens? How's a baby born? Or what happens behind closed doors? And your grandmother says, nothing. Nothing. So his point is that the moment it becomes an it divides you. How was it? We're doing it. That destroys marriages. That's a division. It's talking nothing. It has to be just the expression of becoming one in the most natural way. That's how it's manifested. That's going to be the result. But it's not the moment it gets a label, a title, it's an it gets in between. And gets in between in a place where there shouldn't be anything in between. We mean this in the most deepest psychological, spiritual, ruchnistic sense. You understand what I'm saying? Contemporary society has objectified it, and we become immune to it. Everything is sold with this. Everything. It's become an it. I mean, this is not a subject now. It is the hypocrisy, but it's not really hypocrisy because it's just ignorance. The claim for enlightenment, liberalism, and so on has never objectified the human body as it is today. Made it an it, made sexuality an it, made gender an it, distinct and separate from the fundamental person. It's not our subject. Akol Panim. So why did God make it this way? That the deepest connection, soul connection, mamish becoming one, is dafke in the yichud zivu gufni, because that's the way it is with God. The deepest connection to Atmos is in the Maisa B'Peil, the Mata and the Mitzvah and the learning and the Seichel understanding of Vart in Torah, which is a story and a Maisa with an ox and a whatever it is. Let's continue. Achiluk, four line, and you have a different layout. Everybody has a place, yeah? This is similar. Achiluk shebein Rav the Talmud v'Av ben. A similar analogy is the difference between a teacher and a master and a disciple, and a father and a child. Sheberav v'Talmud, very close relationship. A master and a disciple. Very close. I'm talking about a true master and a true disciple. In the Av Sherav mashbiya seichel talmidoi. So the Rav is giving the very deep part of him. The Rav is giving him he's a Rav. His whole world is the world of ideas, and that's what he's giving over to his Talmud. Pe'ulas hashbala Talmud. However, it's a very deep, intimate connection, sharing of minds. Still, the pe'ula of the effect on the Talmud, who's he going to affect? You need a student who is an intellectual, and he's a keli for his ideas. But then the idea of the master can become one with the disciple, the Talmud, till he internalizes the idea, becomes part of him. Avol kasher atalmud tzad atzmei nebal seichel. But what if he's not intellectual? Leishayich, it's not shayish adei ashbos haseichel marav. The teacher can talk to his blue in the face. Nothing. Yufal Inyan haseichel tzad cannot convey the idea. Why? Because since he's giving a ruchni thing, so he's not giving his etzem, the master, he's giving the world idea, his seichel. So for that you need a very highly defined keli to get it. And if you're not a keli, you get nothing. Now let's contrast this. But a father who the father of a child. What's he giving to the child? Or how is the child born? It's a physical drop. It's gashmis. Yet in this ashpa, in this ashpa gashmis, the brain will develop from there. He gets a brain. And intelligence. So much so that what the father gives latent within the DNA can be the quality of intelligence, IQ that's greater than the father. Child can be even more intelligent than the father. As our sages say that sometimes a child's ability can be greater than the father. He adds in brackets, even though it's true, it doesn't come in a vacuum. He gets this from the father. He's more talented than the father, but still, where did he get that from the father? But the father doesn't have that consciously or overtly. It's latent in the genes, in the DNA, but never manifested by the father. And it comes out by the child. Because we see many times that in manifestation, the child is more intelligent, a greater IQ, more sophisticated than the father. So, very simple. He's saying here, you have a Rav and a Talmud, Seichel. And a father and a child produces a brain that can understand seichel. Who gives more seichel? The Tipa Gashmius gives more seichel than a teacher. The teacher gives a ha'ara, and the teacher gives only to someone who was a keli. He doesn't contrast that part, doesn't spell that out here for us. That part of the contrast. But the father, this part is clear. The father gives one, the tipa gashmis. And what's there? Intelligence and a mind that can be even greater than his own. Seems to be saying that the Rav can only have a relationship with the Talmud that's in his world. To be in his world, a father can produce a child that's not in his world, that has far greater capacity. And how is that conveyed? In the Tipa Gashmis. So all this brings out that Dafkin, the Zivuk Gufni, the Etzem, when there's a Zivuk Gufni, it's not a question of, I want you, desire you, it's we are one. In the deepest way. And there the Etzem is revealed. Friends, whatever we get from this, we get from this. The bottom line we're getting. Through the Moishe B'Peil, we connect and become one with Atzmos. The others, in love with God, and God kissed them, and they kissed the Almighty with all of these ruchnistic parallels. Becoming one, v'hoyu l'basar echad. Become one. It just occurred to me. Alkin Yaziv Ishes Ove v'Imoy, the person should leave his father and his mother and get married. V'hoy lebasar echad. So that's the Ovis. That's the Avodah of the Ovis and the Imois. That was the Achana. Then you have to leave that from, and v'hoy lebasar echad, that's Matan Torah. Shezel lefi sham shochim be'etzem ha'av, the father in the tippa. just explain, and again, this is, I don't understand this fully, not Gashmis, not Baruchnis, but this is what it says. The Alter Rebbe in Tanya, this is all based on Alter Rebbe in Tanya in Perik Beis, that the Tipa Gashmi, I know that, again, scientifically, I don't know how it jives, it does or it doesn't, I don't know, according to the current knowledge. But the Tipa Gashmi comes from the Etzem Moyach Ha'av. That's what he says in Tanya. The Atzmi is of the Father. Deeper than Seichel. That's the Rav Talmud. The Atzmi is. And therefore, as he says now, the Father can produce a child, a Baal Seichel, even greater than his own. He gives to the Seichel the Mahus. Not just he gives, the Rav doesn't give the Mahus, the Rav gives a Ha'ara, he gives an idea. The Rav gives an idea to the Talmud. The Father gives them the Etzem Seichel, intelligence, to be able to conceive himself ideas. Not just an idea, the very core, the essence of Seichel, the very Moyach. Clear? Okay, continue Be'ez Hashem tomorrow. So the plan tomorrow is on Zoom, we'll finish the Maimer, and I'm going to post on the chat the new Maimer, back to Tafshin Chav Gimel, Parshas Shalach, and there's copies, see if you come here, there's copies here, Be'ez Hashem, continue tomorrow. We have to finish yesterday's